Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017, and it was the first foray into a new IP from Guerrilla Games, transitioning from the first-person shooter series of Killzone into the third-person open-world RPG franchise that is the Horizon series with Horizon Zero Dawn. But if you watched last week's State of Play, you did get the news that this game will be getting a remaster for the PlayStation 5 very soon, within less than a month. So let's go over everything that this remaster has to offer, from a feature set, price point, a very unprecedented upgrade path as well, along with my kind of ending dissertation that yes, this 2017 game did not necessarily need a remaster, but this really is the best case scenario for the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster for PlayStation 5. So what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back in here on PlayStation Source, and let's get right into it. First up here, things like the price, platforms, pre-order date, and release date for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Now, first up here, this game is developed by Nixxes, a key PC-centric development studio within PlayStation Studios itself. So rather than the original developer Guerrilla Games working on this game, it will be Nixxes doing this PC port. And this game is launching on October 31st on Halloween, with a price point of $50 if you have never owned Horizon Zero Dawn in the first place across PlayStation 5 and PC as well. This will have an upgrade path that we will detail later on in the video, and if you want to skip to that, there are chapters down below in the description if you choose to do so. Now, pre-orders start for this game on October 3rd, so you'll be able to get the physical and digital version of the game pre-ordered on October 3rd. And also to note that this Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered Edition will have the core base game along with the Frozen Wilds DLC as well, that brings players to the north side of the map, bringing a host of new skills, weapons, and machines to hunt as well. It's a very cool DLC, you know what I'm saying? So that will all be included in this remaster. Now, what are some game improvements coming to Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered? They have cited that there are over 10 hours of re-recorded conversations and mocap sessions that are in this game, which is kind of crazy, I can't lie, along with the host of graphical improvements that bring it to the level of Horizon Forbidden West that was released in 2022. The game will also have a ton of environmental improvements to the game that bring it up to tandem with the sequel in this series. And you can see in the footage itself, man, like there is a lot of really cool vegetation growing across different structures in the open world that we see in this trailer, and there's a lot of different just things that really make it look like Forbidden West as opposed to Zero Dawn back in 2017. This game will sport 4K resolution. That's all they said, so I have to assume that they mean that the 4K resolution will be locked to potentially maybe all different modes across this game as far as we're aware, or maybe it won't have graphical modes on PS5 and it will just be just one singular mode that runs at 60. We'll have yet to see what they mean by that. And the game will also have faster fast travel thanks to PS5's SSD. Now, the biggest improvement aside from the environment itself within Horizon Zero Dawn is the game's character models. The blog says, quote, "The story's main compelling characters have been upgraded, bringing them in line with current generation advances in character models and rendering. We hope that improved animation, lighting, textures, and more will make new and existing fans excited to dive into the action." Let me tell you something, man. The main core benefit of this remaster is indeed those character models, because back in the day when I played Horizon in 2017, right, the way that those facial animations looked, they looked very robotic, not very smooth at all, you know what I'm saying? Very much clunky look to the overall kind of character models of pretty much everyone really across the board, whether it be a side character or a main character. But that was drastically improved with the sequel, with it having a lot better tech in terms of facial animation and facial capture. So the fact that those are coming to the original game is definitely, in my eyes, the greatest benefit of this whole thing, aside from the environment, because the environment definitely does look a lot better and look more like Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered will sport brand new audio tech, with Guerrilla saying that it's been significantly enhanced, supporting PS5's 3D Tempest audio technology for a higher quality of audio across in-game sounds and audio in cinematics as well, so that's really great to hear. We have the usual suspects of DualSense features, including haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, which I assume will be used in the bow and stuff like that. And Nixxes has implemented, quote, custom haptics for the DualSense controller throughout the game, providing tactile feedback that heightens immersion. So this is going to be like maybe raindrops on the controller and you'll be able to feel it, or different, you know, terrain differences that we've seen in other different games. I'm sure those will be making their way into this game, as well as they added a very cool new feature that I have not really heard before overall, but Nixxes explains here that, quote, a new optional accessibility feature that utilizes sound and haptic feedback to notify players of interactable elements such as pickups that were previously only indicated visually. So this is a really great addition to see that there were some aspects of the Horizon Zero Dawn core game that were only visually letting you know that it's there and it has the ability to be interacted with. So now they will have different haptics and sound cues to accompany those visual cues as well for those that need it. Very cool stuff there. They did mention very briefly in the blog that they will have PS5 Pro support natively with this game at launch for PS5 Pro, bringing, quote, a range of graphical features that have been improved to make use of the power of the PS5 Pro while also delivering ultra high fidelity at blazing fast frame rates. So to me, that just seems kind of oddly vague. Like, we know some of the capabilities and feature set of the PS5 Pro, so why isn't that being detailed here and just using words like ultra high fidelity at blazing fast frame rates? Like, what is the resolution? What is the frame rate by blazing fast frame rates? Are you saying that this game could potentially run at 120, for example, on PS5 Pro? Like, I just don't understand why they were being so vague about the PS5 Pro features. While we didn't get a lot of PS5 Pro features, we did get a nice helping of PC features that will be coming to Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. So it will support the brand new announced PlayStation overlay system that brings trophy support to the game, along with other features such as friends list, settings, your profile, etc., and more other features that was introduced to the PC suite with Ghost of Tsushima's release earlier this year. So that will be there, along with ultra wide support for monitors. They didn't say, you know, what kind of ultra wide support, whether it be like 32:9 or anything like that, but ultra wide support will be available, along with frame generation software such as NVIDIA DLSS 3 and AMD FSR 3.1 are also included. But Nixxes also says, quote, we will let our Nixxes partners expand more in the future blog. So I'm assuming that there will be a PC centric blog coming later on that will detail more PC features such as, you know, the specs, etc., right? But what I thought was very odd was that if they're going to support other frame generation software like DLSS and AMD FSR 3.1, is PSSR going to be supported on PS5 Pro at launch? Like, I would assume the answer was yes, but again, like, why isn't that mentioned here in the blog? Very odd stuff here, very odd. Aside from that one really cool DualSense accessibility feature that was included, we do have a bunch of different features that are coming from the Horizon Forbidden West game into Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, and those include remappable controls, haptic cues, and a variety of assist toggles to change certain aspects of the game. That way, certain players that are having a hard time can make it a little bit easier on themselves to experience the whole game as it is. And so that's really cool as well. But my one really big request here is I hope they have auto pickup of different, you know, pickups in the open world, because auto pickup was a savior in Horizon Forbidden West that allowed the game to just skip that, you know, animation where, you know, Aloy reaches down and grabs something off the ground and picks it up, but it just skips that entirely and just puts it straight into your inventory. Definitely need that feature in Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Now, the blog did break down the step-by-step process on how to save transfer, and that is that there is no step-by-step process, thankfully. This is just going to be a seamless transition between your PS4 saves onto your PS5 game here with the remaster. And this is definitely great to see, because back in early generation of PS5, y'all remember where Death Stranding's director's cut, and I used Death Stranding as an example because they were both developed using the Decima engine, Guerrilla Games' own proprietary development software. But that game had you having to go back to boot up the PS4 version. You had to make sure that there were no open orders or any orders that were active at the time. You had to update your PS4 version. You had to export the save data and then boot up the PS5 version of the game and load and grab the save data from PS4 to make it a PS5 save data file or something like that. So definitely a lot less steps here with the Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, it will just work seamlessly. That is very welcome here in the year 2024. Now, the last big segment here with Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is the upgrade path. So this will be detailed here on the blog. They say here, quote, for existing owners of Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4 and PC, and or the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition on PS4, PS5, and PC, you can upgrade to the digital version of Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered for $10 on both PlayStation 5 console and on PC via Steam or Epic Game Store. This includes fans who added the game to their libraries during PlayStation's Play at Home initiative. So a little sidebar here, the Play at Home initiative was a movement around PlayStation that was initiated during lockdowns back in 2020 that gave us a bunch of different really cool perks for games and different games themselves to be able to spend more time indoors while you're at home, right? So one of those games happened to be Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, where they gave away that for a brief limited amount of time during that era of Play at Home initiative. So really cool that you will also be able to get an upgrade path if you did get Horizon through that initiative. Owners of the Horizon Zero Dawn PS4 game disc can access this offer by inserting the game disc into their PS5 console and will need to keep the disc inserted each time to play the game. PS4 game disc owners who buy the digital PS5 edition disc-free console will not be able to access the upgrade offer. So overall, I feel like this upgrade path is definitely very generous for a lot of players, including those that were like me and bought the original game back in 2017, that you will still have an upgrade path 7 years later to this remastered for $10. It seems like a very, very great deal overall to me. But let's go over the big question in the room, the big elephant in the room. Why did Horizon Zero Dawn get a remaster? This has been a big talk in the community, and it definitely does make sense. I won't say it doesn't make sense, because Horizon Zero Dawn came out, like I said multiple times in this video, in 2017. It is completely playable on PS5 at 4K, 60 frames per second. It is completely fine to play and it runs great, right? But Guerrilla Games did take a little bit of time in their blog to kind of answer this question, and they say that, of course, the community that has enjoyed Horizon has grown immensely throughout the years, and it was a huge gamble for them and departure from the likes of Killzone, like we said before. But they also said, quote, the community has not stopped growing. Each year, many millions more pick up Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time. But 7 years is a long time in the world of computer graphics. Technology improves. As time moved on, we really wish that new players who joined Aloy on her origin story can do it with a version that is worthy of their PS5 or compatible PC. And so they got Nixxes to begin work on this remaster of the original Horizon Zero Dawn. And to be fair here, you've been seeing the way this game looks in the trailer, right? The work Nixxes has done sounds incredibly impressive, especially from the facial animation standpoint and character models, because those definitely, like I said before, did not look the best in 2017, and it's definitely a noticeable improvement over the original game, whether it's necessary or not. And ultimately, right, I still wouldn't have said that this was necessary to remaster this game, right? But when you consider the fact that this game was developed by Nixxes, so there is very little or essentially no dev time being taken up by Guerrilla for this, it's out at the end of the month, and on top of that, it has a very generous upgrade path of just $10. And so the overall big range of people that already purchased the original game will get this upgrade for $10. It really does, to me, feel like this is definitely a non-issue overall, generally speaking here. Now, the only thing that you could really kind of give it its mark on is that this is an opportune cost of what Nixxes could be doing instead of remastering Horizon Zero Dawn, which is fair, but it's out at the end of the month. It's done. We won't talk about it going into next year. Like, it's fine, right? And to me, money is money, right? And I definitely understand that, but I'm really not going to pick up my pitchfork and throw a big hoopla over a $10 upgrade. Like, that is very, very generous to me, in my opinion. There are also other factors beyond the game series that would really call for a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn, being that in spite of the Horizon Zero Dawn TV series not moving forward at Netflix due to the allegations of toxic behavior, bullying, manipulative ways of acting, and retaliatory behavior that came out about the then showrunner of the series, Steve Blackman. So I do believe that in spite of all of that, the show is still getting made at some point, and they're likely just shopping it around to other entities like Amazon, HBO, or Peacock to find a new home for it in the end of the day, because they want viewers to watch a very well-developed show about the original story of Horizon Zero Dawn, then go to their PS5 or go to their local store and buy a fresh version of the original game that is a a telling of that same series that they saw on TV. And really, can you blame them? Because they did this same play with The Last of Us Part 1, where The Last of Us Part 1 sales skyrocketed after the HBO series aired initially. And so they clearly want to replicate that. They clearly want the best possible version of that game to be available on day one for PS5 and show off the bells and whistles and capabilities of the PlayStation 5, as opposed to having a 2017 version of the game that had very, not the best facial animations and not really the most impressive looking character models, in spite of the world looking beautiful as a whole, even back in 2017. So when closing, should Horizon Zero Dawn have gotten the remaster? Probably not, right? But when you take into account the essence of it being developed by Nixxes and not Guerrilla Games, limiting the dev time that Guerrilla would have to devote to it, the $10 upgrade path, the fact that it's out in less than a month on October 31st, this is really the best case scenario for what they could have done in comparison to Last of Us Part 1, where that was a full $70 with no upgrade path at all. So I will gladly pay $10 for this upgrade path for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. But down below, guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know about this whole thing. How do you feel about the different feature sets of this remaster, and ultimately, do you think it should have been made in the first place? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Don't forget to check out our breakdown of the Ghost of Yotei trailer from last week as well. Very cool video, very cool finds in there. And thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.